Hello, my name is Nicholl, and thank you so much for taking the time out to listen. Today I titled this message, Mature for One's Age Exposed. Mature for one's age exposed. And yes, we are going to shine the light on those individuals who we have falsely said that they were mature, and we learned later they were very much immature. If you recall, there were those times in your life where you did some things, you said some things that were quite mature for your age at the time. And those individuals around you complimented you, and they may have even gave you more responsibility because you showed yourself to be quite mature, quite responsible in what you said and what you did and how you handled a situation or situations. But what we cannot overlook was you were still the age that you were. And for many of us, we had no business saying and doing some things during times in our lives where we were quite young. Times in our lives where we should have been focused on what most young people focus on rather than rush to get older, do what older people have told us we should do. Been the type of individuals who were moving quite fast in making some decisions that were at times not so wise. But to the outside world may have been, okay, it's all right. You know, we do some things that aren't so good at times, right? They brushed our mistakes off. They said once again, well, you still got a lot of growing up to do, and well, you are quite mature. Either way, I mean, you made some errors, but it's okay. I mean, people, they all make errors. You know, people make mistakes. And as you were growing and learning and experiencing who you were, you realize, though, there were times where you were faking it to make it when it came to maturity. Let's just be 100% real. Some young people are doing that right now. They are faking it to make it, and they've got their cover-ups. They've got the things that they say that they do that make them appear like they're older than what they seem. Here's an example. The young girl who puts on a bunch of makeup to make herself look like she's 21 when she's really a mere 16. Another example, the young man who says that he is a certain age because he has a beard, but he really isn't. So he will talk in a way that sounds like a mature man, but then you put him around some young people and then you see who he really is shows up. Okay. We have those individuals who they are caretakers of their siblings. And so, yes, they tend to do some things in a very responsible manner, and they may talk in a way that's not typical of young people their age, but yet they are still the age that they are, you see. And every now and again, who they really are shows up. And can you tolerate the immaturity in the mind, in the spirit, and even in the body? Some bodies are just not fully developed. They may look okay and all right on the outside, but on the inside, there's still a lot of growing up to do. Okay, developing. And you have those individuals that they know quite well that they cannot handle the truly mature, but yet they will try their hardest. But you're still not going to be 30, 40 something when you're 20 something. You see, you're still not going to be 60 something at 30 something. The actors and the actresses who try to make themselves appear to be something that they're not. They try to make themselves behave in such a way to win over the affections of, or to obtain something, or to get promoted, or what have you. They are usually found out when the challenge shows up, and rather than deal with it from an adult perspective, they choose to act very childlike, whiny, fussy, disrespectful, mean-spirited. And what do we say? Yep, she's immature. He's so immature. I thought she was. I thought he was. The exposing takes place, doesn't it? Now, some folks will say, well, people act this way, people act that way. You know, they dismiss what they know to be true, as I've said in other audio. The truth is right there. God is showing you that person is not the right person for the job. That person is not the right partner. That person is someone who still has a lot of growing up to do. Very mature, very older, whoever. Why are you still trying to pursue this one and that one? Why are you trying to make her behave in the way that you want her to behave? Why are you trying to make that man, who's really not quite a man yet, even though he looks like it, be one? These things take time, the Lord says. You can't just make somebody be something just because you feel like they should be at this age or that age, or because you have experience with people who are mature for their age, and so therefore this one right here should this and should that. No, I'm here to tell you, you are wasting your time, your energy, and your money trying to do some things to make someone be all that you want him or her to be. There is that breakdown that takes place where somebody throws up their hand and says, I admit I'm only 15, I'm only 20, I'm only 30. I can't do all of what you want me to do. I tried to fit the mold that you created for me, and it's just not working. Major falling outs happen behind people trying to be something that they're not. Major issues show up in people's lives as a result of dating way too young. Problems happen at the workplace as a result of ignoring one's immaturity. But yet I want this person to have a chance, or I want this person to be this and to be that. A lot takes place, and those that warned, those that God used to sound the alarm, they are pushed aside or ignored, or you're messing up my fun, or who are you to come over here and tell me this or that? I'm just trying to save the sister some heartbreak. I'm just trying to help this brother out. Well, they don't need your help. Yeah, but if I see someone who's mature, manipulating, controlling, looking for a little entertainment, using somebody, abusing, then yes, I'm going to sound the alarm. God has moved on my spirit to do just that. And then that's when that one who's cold busted in his or her manipulative practices wants to attack you and find a way to remove you from the scene, or to discredit you, or to call you out on your frailties, or what have you. But I serve an awesome God, and I tell you that when you've got the mature-minded individuals who specifically target younger people to get their fleshly needs met, that's a problem in and of itself. Some people ended up having babies they didn't want. Well, she was immature. What did you expect? Some people ended up having their hearts broken. You wanted to be hooked up with him, but he had an immature way of dealing with those who are not like him. Older, wiser. Patience runs out with those who are mature when it comes to the immature youth who pretend as if they are older than what they are. Because there's only so many passes that one gives the immature for their irresponsible behavior or flippant remarks or silly sense of humor or what have you. They start to lose it a little bit because they're dealing with their own share of upsets and griefs, and they may not have this youthful presence about them any longer. And this is why some will seek after the fountain of youth, because they're looking for something that they may have once had, but because of all the abuses that they've gone through, all of the disappointments, they don't have it any longer. So along comes a little bit of immaturity, a little bit of, wilding out. And yeah, maybe I do want to experience that, but now I'm not so patient. I'm not so fun to be around, because there is that mature me that shows up. I'm telling somebody's truth. It was okay and it was all right to stay up all hours of the night, maybe during the first week of the relationship, but now, no, it's not so fun. I want to go to bed. It may have been okay and all right to hang out at the clubs and go to the places where a lot of the youth hang, but I can't take the squealing and the yelling and the silly stuff that goes on much longer. I must admit, this young lady is just too young for me. I'm telling somebody's business. You were trying to hang out with this one and that one, and they even accuse you of acting old. And surely you have some energy about you, right? I mean, come on. Let's have a good time. Let's do this and that. And that crowd is simply too young for you. You see, a mature person will simply admit, this isn't me, or I can tolerate this up to a certain point, but that's about all I can deal with. The mature person is not going to fake it to make it with the young people. The mature is just going to simply say, this is who I am, accept me for who I am. And if you can't take me, then so be it. You see, once we get a certain age, we don't care about what people think. In a way where, I got to try to fit in. I got to try to be one of the crowd. I got to, dress a certain way. We don't care. But when you are that one that you're trying to seek after the affections, the money, the time, the energy, even sap people's energy, you present yourself to be something that you're really not. And if somebody calls you out on your faking it to try to make it in the group, you want to deny, you want to say that's not right, that's not correct, I'm being me. And somebody who knows you looking on the outside says, or from the outside says, that's not her. That she don't dress like that. She don't talk like that with us. You see? No. The immature versus the mature. There is that battle that somebody's going to be faced with, where you're going to call somebody out on how young they are, and they're going to call you out on how old you are. There's going to be that battle that happens where the man or the woman is trying to tear away from that one because it's just not working. You are not that person that I thought I could connect with. This sort of thing happens in age gap relationships more often than any other because there's an age gap. And he's going through his milestones and she's going through hers, and there are those things that we can't agree on. And then there's those energy levels that we simply don't have. And then there are those things that, well, I'm in a different place right now, and I tend to feel real good around this group of people, whereas I don't necessarily feel also great or wonderful around that group of people, because that group of people is older or that group of people is younger, depending on what your situation is or somebody that you know. But you don't fight the truth. You don't try to run away. You don't try to dismiss it. You don't talk bad about yourself and say, oh, I'm just so boring. I'm so this, that, and the other. The reality is that is a person who is in a different place, spiritually, mentally, physically, than you. And rather than waste people's time, and so many people waste people's time by staying in something that you really don't want to be in, or trying to make yourself be something that you're really not, you should just be free. Allow yourself freedom. Allow that person freedom. Even though it hurts sometimes to have to say goodbye, to separate, to terminate, to tell people that it's not going to work out. You got to do what you have to do. When it comes to the workplace, when you're dealing with immature workers, you've got to be the one that documents what they're doing wrong and then demote them or terminate them. It's just that simple. And deep down inside, you know what it's really about. They're immature. You made an error. The person or the group moved up too fast. So we take this moment to pray for all those individuals who simply realize that age does matter. And for those individuals who have yet to see the light, those that have yet to be exposed, you stick around in a relationship of any sort long enough, you will find that your maturity or your immaturity will be called out. Thank you as always for taking the time out to listen. You've been listening to YouTube Interim Enterprise 7. Subscribe today. Do check the description box for anything that might be of interest. She's Crazy is one of my latest relationship books. This particular book is designed for those men who have been battered emotionally and or physically, dealing with some crazy making type of women. Do check it out. Thank you as always. To God be the glory.